Here we go. So this video is going to be a little different. This is going to be me just goofing around in DaVinci Resolve, playing around with the color managed system using the simple transform output tone mapping so that I get the nice contrast that I'm looking for in the image without having to play around with it too much and destroy some of this footage. There's no real tutorial. This is just me goofing around. Hopefully it's not too big of a deal that there's nothing to learn from this. Maybe there is. You just watch. So I'm using 100 nits for 709 because I'm trying to play this as old school as possible and make it work almost as if it's a telecine machine or what have you, and not use any tricks or workarounds, but instead have to deal with overexposure and underexposure the same way that most of you professionals have throughout a large part of cinematic history. Color managed in Resolve is a display, a display reference color space, not a scene reference. Even though it's set up like scene reference, it does not adjust your under and overexposure to bring them into and slightly roll them off the same way the LUT would, or like ACEs or any other scene reference color space, color management that you may be used to. Instead, it is like, no fam, this is just a straight up conversion mathematically, and you are going to deal with the results of that mathematical conversion. Now, one of the things I do like about this, though, is they cheated and they have their own IPP2 set up in here, which I'm sure Red is absolutely thrilled that they did this. Yeah, DaVinci has a habit of doing their own twists on stuff that other companies are doing in a way that feels a lot less than respectful to the original companies. But whatever, man. Like, they can do whatever they want. I ain't a Red fanboy. I mean, I've used Red cameras. I like Red as a company. They are very good at what they do, and they take care of their customers well. And Graham Natras is a cool guy to talk to. But I ain't the lawyer. So it ain't for me to care one way or another how people abuse Red systems and copy Red systems. But yeah, so as you can see right here, I'm doing soft clipping using the soft clip function to bring back in these little bokeh that are slightly blown out. And that's fun to do. Also, her skin is a little bit on the greenish side. I'm gonna bring down the green. Also, wanted to try. Oh, that was a fuck up. I wanted to try linear. Let's see how linear differs from 709 in terms of how it handles controls. So let me try linear real quick. I see. So linear doesn't. So, okay. What's going on here, from what I can understand, is that with 709 as your color space, your gamma that you're working in, it is rolling the top and the bottom off on your adjustments, not on the footage, but on your adjustments. While if I work in linear, it goes to straight mathematical, like up and down as a whole unit, versus working as a slightly log encoded gamma space. I really need to play around with these and like see what each of these does. Let's try ACES CCT. Does it work the same way that ACES CCT? Oh, it does. Ooh, it does. Neat. So in ACES CCT, your offset changes how it works, and instead it actually works how taking contrast and pushing contrast up and down with a pivot of 0 would work. Neat. All right. That's cool. I've never worked in log space. I've always like converted to my output space and then worked in the output space. What is working in S? Well, yeah, let's just work in S log. Even though this is not S log, let's work in S log. Like, what does this do? How does this? How does this react? Well, that is interesting. Okay. I'd have to bring in like a gradient to see exactly what's going on because I have no fucking clue, but it's interesting. Working pocket 4K film then. Because I've always wondered if maybe instead of working in my output space, it would be better to work in my input space and start playing around with that and just do a transform on output. But I've been worried about tools not working the way that I expect or not being able to get the result that I want for what I'm doing. Anyway, yep, that's that. Very nice image, very little work needed to clean it up. Their eyes are still jaundicey. I need to fix that. My working space set to... Yeah, it is. All right. Seems we may be missing some color channels. Probably due to the lighting source not being great. That offset, let's try color temp. What that shit does. Color temp, I do believe, only affects the midtones, not the highlight and the shadow. But I could be wrong. Okay then. Okay, there we go. At least her eyes are white. Her skin looks off. The blue in the background is insanely saturated. Actually, instead of changing the sound, let's just change the hue. Awful. I don't know what I was thinking. What were you thinking? Bring that down. That's better. I kind of want to bring the red back so it's less pink as well. Let's. Oh, there's no way to get that. Oh, that's why, because I'm doing the. Oh, okay. I was supposed to delete it because the skin is too close. Keep in mind, this is not a lesson. I haven't planned anything. I'm just goofing around. Bring this window back. So I love this Blackmagic pocket footage. Like, these shots are fucking beautiful. I've been on the fence about maybe buying an Ursa, but now I'm thinking, like, because the pocket 4K is so cheap, and I don't necessarily need like 4.6K. I just want 4K with decent dynamic range, etc. I might snag the pocket when it's out. I had the Pocket regular for a while and had some issues with it because of battery life. And I also had some issues too because like a lot of the Micro Four Thirds adapters that I had didn't work too well with the Pocket like speed boosters and stuff because I have Nikon lenses. I have a lot of Nikon lenses because I got started in this shit with photography first before I got into video. Anyway, trying to get a Nikon G speed booster to work with it properly was a hassle. It's not fun. That shit. I like my shit to be soft. I like for any masking I do, any power windows, etc., to be like softer. I like a slight like pastel-y teal push out here on the overexposed. That's nice. And then I'll probably do opacity if like there's any hang-ups with the mask. Because sometimes on stuff like this, like whenever the mask gets to the edge of the screen, because the camera turns up here, like near the middle of the video. If I get to like a point where the mask hits the edge of the screen and then hangs up, I'll just turn the opacity down with keyframes. So I don't know if anybody's heard, but I had a Red camera that I had sold on eBay, a Red 1MX, because I was thinking of upgrading to another Red. And the thing got damaged during shipping. And I had to fight to try to get my money for the insurance for the Red, because they were telling me, the shipping company, which I'm not going to name, that way I don't have to deal with any legal ramifications of it, but the shipping company was saying it was improperly packaged despite being in a padded PL case, or Pelican case that was locked for shipping as well. Foam padded, etc., very like tight. And eventually they realized their mistake because we were going to take them to court, and they gave me the money for the camera. But it was slightly less than what the camera was sold for. And in the meantime, Red has like shoveled around everything with their whole DMC line, DSMC line, and they've stopped doing repairs on the Epic MX and the Scarlet MX. So, because I was looking at getting an Epic MX, now I'm like, do I want to spend the money on a Raven, or do I want to spend the money on something else? And I have extra money left over to kit it out with accessories, matte box, shoulder rig, etc. Because I don't have a shoulder rig that would properly fit. Like everything I did with the Red One was like cherry rigged, complete bullshit, like PVC pipes and stuff with rails that I would just like glue and tape and like solder stuff too. It was a fucking mess. So if I do something, I want to do it legit, and I want to get like a proper EVF, etc., which is why I'm looking at the Ursa. But now I'm looking at the Pocket. The Pocket for this quality, like for so cheap, this is amazing. This thing is about the same price as an A7S, and it looks significantly better than the A7S. And you'll get the Blackmagic RAW eventually. I'll get to that in a bit. It's cool shit. Amazing what Blackmagic is doing. There was a point in time where Red was like the great equalizer for like, you know, cost, video cost. Like what am I thinking of? Democratizer. Red was that group. But now I feel like Blackmagic has the mantle of the great film, video democratizer. Also, Ektachrome is back. Fucking Kodak brought back Ektachrome, which Ektachrome was used on some of my favorite films. I believe Ektachrome was what Blade Runner was shot on. I will have to look that up. Please don't like quote me on that, but I believe Ektachrome Ectochrome or Kodachrome is what Blade Runner was shot on. And I love that like slight blue, like low end that it got. The transition is smooth. We still have to deal with the lamp here and then the other lamp right here. So for this, what I'm gonna do, soft clip again. There you go. Also bring the, oh, but I lose her pants. The pants lose brightness. Don't want that. I wanted the pants to lose brightness, then I'd use the Luma value cheat that Juan Malera showed people about popping the max nits up. But I don't want that because I want my Luma and my contrast to be right. Do. Same trick as earlier. 2, 5. 5 is better anyway. I like powers of 5 as my my guesses. Whenever I guess something, I usually like to type in a power of 5 unless it's like below 10 and then finesse it until I get like the size I want. Yeah. We're gonna do the same thing again. I'm using the contrast because offset will bring the entire low end down and then that will clip. Or if I use the contrast, it's going to just bring the top to meet the bottom. So the bottom doesn't clip. And it's better for everyone that way. Better for me, better for Blackmagic, better for you. I'm kidding, Blackmagic and you probably don't give a shit what I do with this footage because I didn't shoot it anyway. I hate that my computer runs so slow when I'm recording the screen with QuickTime. I don't know what it is about QuickTime, but I end up like having a bunch of CPU taken up by screen recording in QuickTime. It might also be because I'm a dumbass who's recording my audio in Logic as well, instead of just recording my audio straight up on like a Zoom or something. Got an H4n, but I'm like, nah fam, I'm gonna plug straight into my computer and use Logic for recording. Probably because last time I used my H4n for audio, there were some issues with stereo, where like some phase issues, because I don't have a directional mic. I have a standard corduroy mic. I'm an idiot when it comes to audio. Audio is something that I am still learning like the basics of on a daily basis. Hell, I'm still learning the basics of color grading on a daily basis. I've just been doing it longer. But yeah, there we go. Like the mask worked perfectly for this. I was worried that her hair, etc., would mess with it, but since it doesn't seem that she crosses in front of the lamp, there are no issues with that. If she had crossed in front of the lamp, what I'd probably have to do is make 2 masks and have one of them fade out and then the other one fade in. There are ways to keyframe it and then have the tracking pick back up at the keyframe, but I've never been able to get that to work properly, so I usually cheat with 2 masks. But yeah, the lamp was brought back. Nice. This one is blown out in a way and it's so small that I don't think it matters. I'm not so sure anybody will care or notice. On to the next one. Now this one is difficult and different. Also, I just got a tag. What is it? Oh. Are they going? How much? Let me turn the volume up. Quoted $6,000. We're gonna do the same thing again. Over here. Eyes. 5. That's way too small. Fuck me. Alright. I know, like the elephant in the room, the window. I'll get to that in a minute. I'm not sure how I'm gonna tackle that at the moment. I might use gradients. I might try some other tricks to even actually blown out. Let's go ahead and there's the lamp. Okay, no, there's the lamp. The lamp is not blown out. What am I doing? I'm wasting precious resources. Fucking lamp is not even blown out. It just looks like it, but it's not blown out. All right. The elephant in the room is this blown out window here. Let's see what soft clip does to it. Absolutely fuck all. Nice. Okay. How much do I have to bring it back? Quite a bit. How much room do I have to play with? 4 levels. Oh, not much at all. Ay. I can try and compress it. But I'm gonna lose luminance. Slight loss in luminance, but I'm gonna lose luminance. Rather not lose. Unless do it keyframe. Try something different with a different node real quick. What does our log highlight tool do when I bring it down? Oh, I recovered it nicely. I have to bring it back though. Also, it does clip at this point. What if fucked with the contrast pivot? Compress the shit. Hear me out. What if I did 2 nodes in sequence? One of them was to compress all the info. The other one was to bring the contrast back. That ain't good. That ain't Falco. Yeah, I feel like I had better result with the curve. Okay. Curve it is. I just lose my luminance on her. And it's a slight luminance loss, but it is luminance loss, and I am OCD about that shit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over here. I'm going to keyframe my gain on my corrector. I go over here and just be like gain 1. When we get to the part where she sits down and the window is out of frame. There. 0. I actually want it still one right here. So that as it pulls closer to her, then it slowly starts to blow out, but it's in a way that like, oh, that building though. Mm-hmm. Oh, all right. We're gonna move it closer. Closer. Further away. The life of a colorist. Well, it takes forever before we get the Luma values back, but we finally get them back at the very end. Hopefully it's subtle enough that you can't notice. Let's watch from the start. The thing I don't want it to look like is I don't want it to look like somebody's changing the aperture or adjusting a variable ND. I want it to be like so smooth that the audience doesn't notice. Right there. That's where it should end. I'll move my start point on the transition to make that building work. All right. It's noticeable, but it's not that noticeable. I feel like if I never told anybody, then they may not even notice. But it does kind of look like an ND filter. Something's being shifted. No, little bastard right here. You know, a soft clip might actually help with the building. I didn't even think about that. God, I'm such a dummy. 5 years of experience, still discovering basic answers to questions. Damn the sun. Why can't we just negative fill things with our mind? Like, just be like, look, that building's too bright. Fucking just turn the sun down. On the flip side, though, like if they were metering, like, this is not to knock the guys who did all the Black Magic promos for the pocket camera, but this is professionally shot, right? This is probably John Brawley or some shit. This is John Brawley. John, why did you not get your internal exposure to balance with your external exposure? Like for this shot, it's fine because it's just this window, but you put the talent in front of the bay window. How come you didn't balance your exposure with it? Also, John, if you didn't do this, I'm sorry. We have some chromatic aberration, purple fringing. Oh, there's still some up here. Hopefully it's not close enough to the blue of the sky. This is going to pull from the sky. Oh, we're good. Oh, but it did pull from the reflection of it. Okay. That one we're going to have to just leave because I don't feel like making another color picker and finessing it to pull that out. I ain't getting paid for this one. This is just for funsies. I could mask the talent and bring her up a little bit. Also, she's out of focus. Who shot this? Hire fucking AC. Have them pull focus. Like, I'm not one to talk because like almost everything I've ever shot is out of focus too, but I don't get paid by Blackmagic to do their promos. Okay. Well, this is actually one of my favorites pieces of footage from the samples because it's just so damn pretty. Well, not at the moment. Gotta fix that sky. Okay. The soft clip there. I should probably work under the soft clip. How much do we gotta bring down to get the sky back? That's our exposure on our dude. Not bad. It's a little dark. It's not bad. Sun is completely blown though. I'll have to do something about that. Probably tint it. Tint it and mask it. I'll bring my guy back up. Where is he on the IRE scale? Mr. Dude. Mr. Dude. Where are you, Mr. Dude? I just want to... I'm thinking he's probably somewhere around like 384. I'm not 100% sure where he's at on the scale. He's like not even at 384. He's like below 384. Okay. So I want to try to get him up to about 512. I know that everybody has like the preferences for IRE. I know the Academy has its own preference for IRE, but I like to have people where they can vary up and down between like 640 and 384 with their skin tones. I prefer to keep it somewhere around 512 though, middle gray. Personal preference. Low key would be lower, high key would be higher. This is definitely low key, and I mean going below 384. Going to like 256, even down to like 128, depending on the lighting scenario, is fine. But I want my guy to be a little higher. I want him to stand out because at the moment your eye is drawn to the sun and the sky, and not our dude or the balloon. So what I'm gonna do. Come back over here. See what I can do with a curve to bring down everything. That's nice. Just checking to see if there was any like detail I needed to still bring back, or if all that was actually just blown out, but it is all actually just blown out. Now our dude is much higher on our IRE scale though. I don't know exactly what, but I'm going to assume it's close to 512. I haven't been measuring skin tones yet. Oh, it's still set for plus. I'm trying to remember. How do I show just my mask? There's a way you can do that. I've forgotten. There is a way you can do that, and I've completely forgotten. I'll have to look it up again at some point. So we'll just do this same way I did earlier. I don't remember how to do things properly, so I'm making up rules and stuff on the fly. Way of doing this. Where is this guy? Oh, what do you know? He's right here, 512. Nice. That is exactly what I wanted. Imagine that. Getting what you want on the first try. Nice. Let's finesse this. Might actually just bring this back up to get my shadow. No, because then it's gonna clip. Actually compress this a bit. Because on the red channel, the shadows are clipping. Do contrast. Anyway, I love this shot. Now, another way you could go about this, but it would be a lot harder to make work, would be to gradient. And then use the gradient to try to like change either softness or opacity, depending on the shifting of the scene, and basically have it work like an ND filter would. You can do that, but it's going to be very difficult to make it look convincing and not garbage. Now to fix that sun. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a circle mask. That bad boy right there on the sun. 5? And 25. 60. Finesse the actual color a little bit. Crack that bad boy. I fully expect this mask to get hung on the side of the screen. No, surprisingly not. It actually went past the edge of the screen. Nice. First time I've had that happen. Normally I've got to goof with the opacity like the other one. I don't know why I keep stopping the track. Maybe it's because I have it slightly too small and it's not picking up on like the trees. Because the actual blown out area is not contrasted enough for it to really pick up on it. So it's gonna have to use like the tree line as its actual reference point for where it's gonna stick to for tracking. Oh nice, it also went over the edge on this side. That is perfect, that is beautiful. All right. Probably the best mask track I've ever had. Neat. That is a gorgeous shot. Like I need to remove some green from it. It's a little too green, but this is a gorgeous shot. One of the things too that I'm excited about with the Blackmagic Pocket is because of how lightweight it's going to be. Like stabilizing that thing should be a breeze. I'll even be able to stick it on something like an Osmo. I'm not saying on the Osmo, but something like the Osmo. Because some of the Osmos have built-in gimbal. I'm trying to think what they are. The little one-handed gimbal. There's a name for them. I mean, you can definitely stick it on a Ronin, but you can stick the airstone on a Ronin too, as long as you rig the battery pack right. You need an external monitor though, because you can't flip the side open and have it on the Ronin. God, this is so pretty. All right, moving on. Spider is just an overexposed shot. I'm about to bring it down. The name of that spider that's on YouTube that everybody loves. Harry, something the spider. I think it might be Henry the spider. And I'm working all in one node on the, you know what, I don't, it's all parallel action anyway. Where do we go? That was it. Look at it go. Tarantulas are cool. They can like kick their hairs and turn them into a little needle. They can fucking make you go blind. Like there's stories of people who get kicked by the needle and then like pierce the eye and blind them. Crazy shit. Nature is weirder than fiction. I love praying mantises. Praying mantises are beautiful creatures. Like gorgeous. So the color temperature on this is a bit cool, but kind of like how like I exaggerated the color tones for the sunset. I'm gonna just leave the exaggerated color tones for praying mantis. Cool. Also, it's got like a slightly overexposed there. Okay. Get that. Oh, but it gets rid of the leaves. It's small enough. I'll probably just leave it. Exaggerate that cool jade green color to it. I just need David Attenborough being like, the praying mantis does praying mantis thing. Oh, alright, finally, DNG files. I always thought the resolve handles DNG files a bit weird. I normally use the ISO control for my midtones in a shot. That is ugly. Like all the definition is like stair step. There's no. I wonder what the compression ratio on this was, because it had to be really high. This is worse than ProRes. Jeez. All right. Look at the aliasing on that. Look at this. What? Blackmagic, what are you doing? All right, so bring the lift down. And then I'm probably just gonna see what soft clip can do. Perfect. That is perfect. That is a perfect shot to bring back the highlights with just one soft clip adjustment. And like, I lose the contrast. So, gotta balance this, but I don't feel like trying to do any of the other tricks to try to save this shot. Quite frankly, I'm not a fan of the stair stepping that's going on. What's the difference? I don't think anybody's gonna notice that this guy's blown out in that shot. It's so slight. What happened with the my settings right? Full res. Yeah, it's set. I don't know. It's just really low quality. That's gonna be a problem to deal with. Oh boy, how much do I gotta bring it down to get this guy? Oh boy. Okay. That's a lot. And even then, it's blown out in some spaces. And some of it's blown out already. It is Russian. Let's see what I can get out of this. I believe, like, I've seen the actual video. I don't remember this guy being blown out video at all. I'm kind of surprised that, like, that it's that bad. You can try light. It's gonna be too much, isn't it? Yeah, I'm starting to get like inverse. This is a tough one. There is a way. Where there is a will, there is a way. I will figure this out. It's gonna take some playing around with this. but it's not great. I'm gonna save that. Turn it. So it doesn't pull values back. I was curious if it would. What does auto adjustment do? Anything? Nothing? Nothing. Auto adjustment is like, fuck if we know. Trying to get an idea of like what direction this in. I'm gonna assume soft clip doesn't do shit. Soft clip doesn't do. Nice. I just it's not too bad. Wonky way to do it though, but it's not too And if I want to get that last little bit down. It's not making a difference to me visually, but it is making a difference on the scopes. Gotta be doing something. And then BMD Raw, Black Magic Raw. This shit is cool. You can change the black level on it. Of course, this being the Ursa Pro, bringing exposure stuff down, breeze, all the information is held very well in the Ursa Pro. Lose my contrast on her though. Still gonna lose the Well, it does do something. I'm just gonna stick with soft clip to keep it from being so hot, and then just leave it because I don't want to lose too much of the contrast. I feel like so much of the contrast is vital to the look of that shot. I do a lot of shots that don't want to lose the contrast. It looks really nice. It looks really pretty. Illusion, make it look like warm light coming in from outside. Too much subtle thing like that. Yeah. How does it handle with the overexposure in the tent? Not great. Okay. And I got this shot right here. Probably the most exposed part of it. Not much really to do to this one. Like, it's pretty fine. Like, yeah, you have the overexposed stuff. I'm gonna soft clip. It's all little things. The bracelet that I don't, you know, are like rim lights. I'm a big fan of like the idea that you can blow out rim lights and it's fine, because it just helps sell that like the thing you're looking at is bright. Do want to kind of try using curves to finesse bracelets so they're not quite as bad. I feel like they might be clipped. They are clipped. Trying to finesse it isn't really going to do jack for me because they're clipped. Can't bring back what's not there. Neat. This is another shot that pretty much is like good out of the box. The only thing that's blown out is the light, the fluorescent light lamp. Still, it looks better. Even when her skin is like jaundiced, it looks better. Oh, that's why. I didn't realize that on my scope. Nice. All right. Probably working with scene managed or display managed reference stuff is that it is easy to overexpose. Wonder. No, not with the way things are going. Didn't bring the red up. Yeah. There's no dealing with her eyes without masking them. I'm not gonna do that. It bothers me enough, maybe. Granted, this is all correction work too. Like, I'm not trying to grade anything. If I were trying to grade, like, I could go crazy with my node trees. I'm worried about that. I just want to goof with the footage. Even if it is subtle fixed pattern, it's still a fixed pattern. Eyes are not perfect. Her teeth aren't perfect. I'm getting there. $4,000 is the number I want. There we go. So I know it's like a wedding film. Like, all this is part of the same footage for the same wedding. But I love, despite that, I love how moody this is. Like, I don't know, I just get like a Fincher-esque vibe from like how moody this shot is. But in actuality, it should be like that. I don't think I have to do anything to this shot either, except for maybe like bring back some of the highlights. Now this, because this is the Ursa Pro, I think, probably does have fixed pattern noise. Surprisingly not. Yeah, weird. I was sure that the 4.6K also had issues with fixed pattern noise. Now I can go up here and add a look to the whole shebang. And naturally, being the jerk ass I am, I'm gonna do teal and orange. Aha! The old TO strikes again. Everybody get pissed off because it's Terrell Owens. No. Well, I could do teal and orange. Might do a slate. Easier if I had track balls instead of having to drag with a mouse. It's not really working the way I thought it would. Let's try doing it with shadow. Working the way I expect. Something about this. I like it better at like 400 and 200. The reason for teal and orange split is because cooling off the shadows helps make the highlights and the midtones pop a bit more. Personally though, I don't like tinting the highlights, I just like tinting the midtone. Once you tint your highlights, then the idea of it feeling natural at all is up. Especially since like film prints used to tint the, like saturation film prints used to work from the bottom up. And I consider like your secondary correction, your grade, if you will, to be you trying to put like a film print type stamp footage. Anyway. And yeah, I guess that's the end of me streaming the goof off. The big goof. Oh, let's begin the secondary. Make the corrected footage better. Person. Yeah, that's the big goof. I guess I'll be doing like a big goof live stream too at this point.